Right. Hello, everybody. Hello, Facebook family and friends. This is a topic that I am super passionate about, that I have openly spoke about for several years already. It's a huge part of my own personal awakening. I wrote about it a little bit in my book. The title explains it all. We've been dumbed down, drugged up, and disempowered. And so this came in the mail a while ago, and it's on going live on Facebook. I wanted to discuss vaccines because in my journey, I have come to find that they are, in fact, poison. There's no fancy way to sugarcoat that. Okay. This is the schedule. There are over 90 vaccines given in the first 18 years of life. There's like 30 given in like the first year, I want to say. They just start loading our children with toxins. All right. And I am going to go over some of the important key factors, ingredients, and I'm also going to share links for everything so that you can, like I always encourage everyone to do your own research and form your own beliefs. Your beliefs are powerful, they create your reality. So take what resonates and leave the rest. I always say if your beliefs are serving you well, if you are creating and living a life that you love or moving towards it, then more power to you. But if you are not, we have to take a look at our mindset. And part of our mindset, our beliefs, we've been taught that vaccines are safe and effective, and it's just the thing to do. So, first of all, I'm Andrea Kay, the Magnetic Mompreneur. I'm a home birthing, unschooling mompreneur of four. So I have four completely unvaccinated children. It wasn't until having my first child back in 2015 that I miraculously woke up, call it divine intervention, intuition, whatever you want to call it. Something inside me told me, hey, research vaccines. And so I did, despite the fact that I actually went to school for my associate's degree in the medical field. I actually did my internship at a pediatric clinic. Funny story, I was offered a position in the pediatric clinic, but I ended up not getting the job because something happened at my internship. Long story short, where I ended up not getting the job, right? Thank God. And thank God also that I could not give injections as an intern because I probably never would have been able to forgive myself. All right. So when you know better, you do better. People are starting to wake up and question these fear-based narratives. A lot of these diseases and illnesses, yeah, they might have been like bad, kind of bad or whatever, but like um, they weren't that serious. There, a lot of times it was the vaccine itself causing polio, for example. Um, 40,000 cases of polio came from the polio vaccine itself in the 40s because it was grown on monkey kidney cells and created a virus called simian virus 40, SV40, which actually now has led to bone, brain, and lung cancer in people who got that. So um, there's that. I have my degree in the medical field, did my internship at a pediatric clinic. You think that I would have been taught about VAERS, the Vaccine Adverse Events Reporting System, right? You're working in a pediatric clinic where we, not me, but them, the other um, nurses and assistants were giving vaccines, and you think they would have been taught about VAERS, the Vaccine Adverse Events Reporting System, but we are not. I was not aware of VAERS till after, long after, and I started to do my own research 3, 4 years later. And it's no wonder that less than 1% of vaccine injuries and death get reported. They are drastically underreported. Less than 1% is ever reported. Less than 10% of that is ever compensated because it's such a tedious process. And get this, They are paid out in taxpayer dollars, because the industry has blanket liability. What does that mean? The Childhood Vaccine Injury Act of 1986 gives blanket immunity to the industry. That means that nobody in the making, distribution, or administration of a vaccine can be touched, can be held liable for vaccine injury or death, which happens all the time. And if you know, you know. I know a lot of people who believed in them, who trusted them. We just automatically trust they're the professionals. They know they, went to school. Yeah, they went to school in a corrupt education system that only teaches them what they want them to know, which is basically how to push their pharmaceuticals, because there's no wealth in health, right? There is wealth in health. It's on the rise. It's called the wellness industry. However, we're shifting into that. We're starting to see the old systems that just don't work. They're starting to fall away. Medical being one of them. Don't get me wrong, there is a place for modern Western medicine. Okay, there is a place for it, a very small place in case of emergencies. But I totally believe that mostly everything and anything can be treated holistically, naturally. Okay. So let's see if I can share my screen. And oh wait, I want to go over a couple more facts, like for the fact that in 2005, the Supreme Court ruled vaccines unavoidably unsafe. The Supreme Court ruled them unavoidably unsafe in 2005. There have been no safety studies since 1986. Since the implementation of the Childhood Vaccine Injury Act 1986, they haven't done any studies. The vaccine schedule has jumped from about 30 to over 90. So when older people are like, well, I got them all and I'm totally fine, you got like 5, Karen. Okay, you got like 5. Everybody else is getting way more. Okay, let's talk about some of the ingredients that are in the vaccines and the side effects, because that one little sheet of paper that they give you when you go doesn't list the half of it. Okay, it's kind of like the commercials you see on TV. Did you take this, or did a loved one take this? Did they get this, or that, or did they die? You might be eligible for compensation. Excuse me. Except with the vaccine industry, it's so much more swept under the rug. Excuse me. So, what else? The VAERS, Childhood Vaccine Injury Act, no safety studies, Supreme Court Order 2005. Guys, I have this, like, when you get that thing in your throat, and you can't stop coughing. Why on my live did this have to happen? And help. All right. Design help. Oh. Guys, help. It gets even worse if you try to breathe. But of course, I have to breathe. Hold on a second. All right. This shit is not going away, you guys. Excuse my language. All right. Hold on. Where's my screen share? Normally it's right here. And it's not. I do not see it. Screen share. Talk show captions, whiteboards, live stream. I thought I already am live streaming. I am live streaming already on Facebook. Excuse me. Why? Oh, there we go. Share. All right. Share screen. I know what I'm doing. Promise, guys. All right. So, yes, I used AI to search because, hello, the technology that we literally have at our fingertips can help us accomplish so much more in such a small more amount and less time, which is I'm all for doing less to accomplish more. And so it did search reputable CDC, FDA sites for anybody who's like, oh, well, trust the science and like you need to like read the legit stuff. This is from the CDC and FDA actual websites, and all the links that I'm going to post in the comments are legit websites as well. All right, so let's just go over a few examples. And I want to mention this as well. Vaccines are not mandatory for school. Okay, I homeschool, but a lot of moms, I hear them say, well, I only give the ones that are necessary, the ones that are they have to get. Or I only get this one because, you know, I'm so scared of measles or whatever it is. None of them are mandatory. Exemptions are available with the exception of a couple states that do not allow religious, medical, or philosophical exemptions. But they're pretty easy to get, and most people are just unaware of it. So just so you know that as well. So the FDA, what is this? The FDA patient information identifies weakened human rotavirus as the active ingredient and lists dextrin, sorbitol. Now, if I can't read all these, apologize in advance, but some of these are medical terms that are very hard to read. Potassium chloride, magnesium sulfate. A lot of this stuff, you're like, okay, this is probably not, doesn't seem too bad, but you're going to see when we start getting into some of these other ingredients. And right here, reported adverse reactions for the MMR2, anaphylaxis, angioedema. Guys, what are some of these things? Okay. Bronchospasm, thrombocytopenia, encephalitis. I know that's inflammation of the brain, which can actually lead to autism. Encephalopathy, measles inclusion, body encephalitis. So the vaccine itself can actually cause the virus. A lot of times that's what happens. You get a vaccine and you get the virus, not to mention that vaccine shedding is a real thing. It also mentions that in here as well. So people who are recently vaccinated can actually shed the live virus. So technically, some people say, oh, well, if your kid's not vaccinated, they shouldn't be in school. Well, if your kid was recently vaccinated, they shouldn't be in school because they're literally spreading a live virus that can potentially be even stronger, because when we try to play God and mess with stuff like this, it mutates and it actually gets stronger, more powerful. So that's why sometimes you're seeing these things coming back, because it's not because of people who don't vaccinate, it's because of people who do, literally. So anaphylaxis, I'm going through these. What else? Transverse myelitis, seizures, ammonia, Stevens-Johnson syndrome, optic neuritis, and nerve deafness, among others. It says it also specifically warns that immune-compromised individuals inadvertently receiving the vaccine have developed disseminated vaccine virus infection, measles inclusion, body encephalitis, pneumonitis, and death. Okay. Right? Like when you see a vaccine commercial and it's like, you might, yeah, take this for your diabetes, but you might suffer from severe headaches and vomiting, and you might get this, and that, up to and including death. But hey, take this, right? No. Verifax, chickenpox vaccine. Serious events including encephalitis, stroke, meningitis, pneumonia, seizures, as well as severe skin disorders, skin infection, abnormal bleeding, bruising. See, on these papers that they give you when you go to the doctor, it's like headaches, sore throat, soreness in the injection site, fever. No, there are far more. Look right here, it's listed ingredients. We have Residual MRC5 cell DNA protein. Bovine, half serum. Okay, so you're injecting cow juice. That's not the word I was looking for, but fluid from an animal, from a cow, into your child. Okay, cell DNA. They use DNA from aborted fetal cells. All right. Now you can imagine if you have a vaccine with aborted fetal cells and you have female cells being injected into a male, what do you think is going to happen to the body, to the biology, the chemistry? It's going to get confused. And personally, I think that has a lot to do with the gender confusion that we see happening a lot now more than ever. All right. Because they use DNA, aborted fetal cells, animal cells, animal secretions in vaccines. Okay, you're literally injecting these things. And when we inject things, we're bypassing every single defense mechanism that your body has, right? Like if you ingest something, your body has things to make you throw it up, to make it pass through, essentially, right? When you inject it, it's bypassing every single defense mechanism, not to mention that a lot of these vaccines have polysorbate 20 or polysorbate 80, one or the other, that opens your blood-brain barrier. And so it's literally letting these toxins right into your brain, okay? Right into your brain to cause immediate damage. And we're talking about heavy metals, aluminum, we're talking aluminum, like the amount of aluminum in a hepatitis B vaccine that they give immediately to the first shot that they give to a child has like 20 times the amount of aluminum that is acceptable for like a grown man. Okay. And it doesn't matter if your baby is premature or anything like that, they're going to give the same vaccine to every child. There's no weight measurements, anything like that. They're all the same. All right. And then if you try to skip or space them out, they're oftentimes also going to tell you then that you have to catch up. And that is very, very, very dangerous. Right. Also, if mentioning this as well, if you decide not to vaccinate and you decide to still have wellness visits, when you go to the doctor, they're going to try to have you sign a form that's going to say, if you read it, which you should, I knowingly and willingly am endangering the life of my child by choosing not to vaccinate. So when I noticed this, when I was still doing appointments back when my 11-year-old son had his 3-year well visit, and I refused to sign. And I said, I'm not signing this because I don't believe that. I believe that I'm endangering his life by vaccinating. And they said, well, we can't see you here anymore. And we have not been back to a pediatrician since then. And he's 11, so 8 years. And we just don't do doctors. As a matter of fact, my 2 home births, I had no pre or postnatal doctor's visits at all. Our bodies are incredible, super divine intelligence. They know what they're doing, and the systems and all of the crap really that is causing all of the upset, irritation, and problems. All right. So, hi V. Let's see. My kids are all barging in here. We can see the side effects here, right? Anaphylaxis shock, Guillain-Barré syndrome, neuritis, right? This inflammation of the nerves, paralysis, seizures, transverse myelitis, right? A lot of kids get vaccinated and have seizures. A lot of kids get vaccinated and they die in their sleep. SIDS, sudden infant death syndrome, which I believe is actually VIDS, vaccine-induced death syndrome. And that could be one of the reasons, one of the side effects that's listed on here is sleep apnea. Okay, kid gets a shot, they get sleep apnea, they're sleeping, they stop breathing in their sleep, you're sleeping, that's it. Like, let's careful there, girl. Let's put 2 and 2 together here. Like, let's really start to question and wake up to the truth. Okay, guys? Let's really put 2 and 2 together here. It's so obvious. And they've been playing us this whole time. We've truly been dumbed down, drugged up, and disempowered. Um, skipping through some of this here, you can see it. You can see my screen, right? So you've probably been reading through this a little bit while I've been talking, maybe while I was coughing. Sorry about that. It's gone now, you guys. I'm good. COVID-19 vaccines, and really, like, if you're still going for those, you're still falling for that, like, I don't know if there's any hope left for you, because there's so much information coming out about those and how bad, how terrible. Careful, Vivi, with this cord here. So, warnings, they require warnings now. Myocarditis, which is inflammation of the heart, something to do with the heart attack, or I believe, or stroke, pericarditis. So yeah, there's been a lot of stuff happening with those. I knew from the start as well. It's happened. What happened is, it was like March 2020 when it first started to come out, and I was like, yeah, okay, all right. I had a mask made that said vaccines are poison and this is bullshit. I wore it for maybe a month, and I said, okay, no, this is it. No, there's something going on here. This is not right. And they started dishing out vaccines, and of course, it was an absolute no for me and my family. And I tried to tell people, tried to warn people, and now it's starting to come out. And I've been talking about this for over a decade. And some people, even people close to me that I love dearly, were so like gung ho. No, vaccines save lives, yada, yada, yada. They're safe, they're effective, you need them, yada, yada, yada. And now they're like, oh my God, they're starting to wake up because we are in the Great Awakening. And again, dumbed down, drugged up, and disempowered. My book, I talk all about this. We are awakening and making the shift into the 5D New Earth paradigm, the quantum new 5D Earth paradigm, which is a new way of being for humanity, where we're going to see all these old systems fall. Medical, education, government, criminal justice, all of it. Religion is a big one as well. Okay, they've all been used to keep us dumbed down, drugged up, and disempowered and disconnected from our truth, our true power, our true potential, our true nature, our true essence. All right, which is essentially God. Again, this is just a small part of the bigger puzzle, but we've definitely been dumbed down, drugged up, and disempowered. And you can see all of these side effects. You can see these warnings. You can see the ingredients. All right. Again, I am going to post links so you can see all of this for yourself. There was more. Hold on. What's this? Vaccines, actual ingredients and serious adverse reactions, updated August 2026. All right. Let's see. Hepatitis B, active ingredient. See them there. Other ingredients. Formaldehyde. That stood out to me. Formaldehyde is a big one that's used. And not only in vaccines, it's used in a lot of our cleaning products, a lot of our household products. Formaldehyde is the second. No, but I think that's mercury. I was gonna say is the second most toxic thing in the world next to plutonium. Pretty sure that is mercury. Formaldehyde is up there as well. Formaldehyde is used as an embalming fluid. Like, come on, why are we injecting this into our bodies? Like I said, if you fed that to your child, you would be poisoning them, you'd be in trouble. And like I said earlier, when you ingest something, it's completely different than when you inject it, because it's bypassing every single defense mechanism that your body has. So why aren't these people being held accountable that have been telling us that injecting poison into our children is needed, necessary, safe, effective? Because it's not. Okay. It is not. And millions of children have suffered, died, and had serious adverse reactions that they have to live with for their entire lives. Their entire lives, you guys. Aluminum, there. See? Aluminum right there. This is not just hearsay. This is not just biased information. This is coming from the actual vaccine inserts, not just that single sheet of paper, like I said, that they give us. I want to fix my hair. Anyway, so here we go. Anaphylaxis, sickness-like reactions, thrombocytopenia, encephalitis, encephalopathy, Guillain-Barré syndrome, neuritis. A lot of similar ones for each vaccine. A lot of them are the same. I've seen cancer listed as a side effect. I've seen diabetes listed as a side effect. Hypoesthesia, Bell's palsy, optic neuritis, paralysis, paresis, seizures, transverse myelitis, syncope, hypersensitivity reactions, like very bad reactions, you guys, like I said, up to and including death, which I call VIDS, vaccine-induced death syndrome. You can see more. A lot of things to do. It causes autoimmune disorders, neurological disorders, neuropathy, neuritis. Okay, what do you think that's doing? Inflammation to the brain that is causing neurological disorders. You guys, like, come on. Again, let's put 2 and 2 together. It's not that hard to see. So if you have just had a child or considering having a child, knowing somebody that is having a child, please, please, please do your research, please. And everybody, yes, you have a choice, but if you really do the research and you still decide to vaccinate, I don't know, your intelligence might be just a little bit questionable. All right. Seriously, please, like, we have to wake up and stop trusting the industries that do not have our best interest at heart. Their only main interest has been to make money. Okay. To make money off of keeping us sick. It is sick care. All right. They do not profit if we're not sick, because then they don't have anyone to dish their pharmaceuticals to. All right. Rotavirus, human rotavirus strain, so these things, product labeling, identities, presence of porcine, circovirus type 1 material. Like, we're just injecting trash, chemicals, toxins, heavy metals into our systems. Serious adverse reactions. Again, a lot of them are the same. Severe prolonged vaccine virus gastroenteritis in infants with severe combined immunodeficiency, vaccine virus shedding. That's what I was talking about, the vaccine virus shedding. So people are getting these and shedding these live viruses all over. Okay, serious infection associated with vaccine-derived viruses, severely immunocompromised individuals, common reactions or ability, common reactions, but it's not just common to receive those. So many times parents report, my kid went and got a vaccine, and a few days later they went nonverbal. My kid got a vaccine, a few days later they got a really high fever, their eyes started rolling in the back of their head, and they started having seizures. My kid just had a shot, and a few days later I found them in their crib, gone, labeled SIDS. Okay, because there's no reason. A healthy, normal child just died in their sleep, and they have no explanation for it. Okay. Again, you can see grand mal convulsions, partial seizures, a lot of seizures, and encephalitis, inflammation in the brain, a lot of heart issues, anaphylactic reactions, hypersensitivity, a lot of really bad stuff. Also, like, for instance, we just celebrated my 9-year-old's 9th birthday yesterday. My 9-year-old's 9th birthday. Yeah. Which is my daughter, my first daughter. And when she was born, she had what is known as stork neck. Okay, so it's like a little red mark in the back of the neck. It looks like a stork pinched them. You know, the stork carries the baby. And what that is actually a sign of is the empty, what is it, guys? You're like, what is it? And I'm supposed to be teaching you guys. It's a gene. It's a gene mutation. The MTFR gene, MTHFR, something like that. It looks like a bad word, abbreviated, but it's not. It's a gene mutation that actually makes your child or you, whoever has it, more susceptible to vaccine injury and death. And so it's called, again, stork neck. If you see a baby born with that little red mark in the back of their neck, means they're highly likely that they will have a vaccine reaction if given vaccines. All right, so there's that. Pertussis, convexine, collapse, shock-like state, persistent, inconsolable crying. Sure, all the moms who have taken their babies to get vaccinated have experienced this. Get them vaccinated, and they're crying uncontrollably for hours and hours and hours. Come here, Chunka. So this is Chunk, aka, well, Zion, aka Chunk. He's a boy with long hair. He's like our Samson from, not Samsung, like phone, Samson, like from the Bible, and his hair gives him his power. And so my home birth baby, he was born in the bathtub, right, Chunk? You can see her here, off, coming back again a little bit. Hold on. Take a sip. Again, a lot of them are the same. There's the sleep apnea I was talking about, which could very well be SIDS, sudden infant death syndrome. They just suddenly die. That's not to make a joke out of it, because it's not funny at all. It just, normal healthy babies don't just suddenly die. But you can correlate two and two together, that when this happens, it tends that they had a vaccine recently. Okay, so just all these things you can see. Have you not seen enough? You've seen the heavy metals, you've seen aborted fetal cells, animal products, and animal fluids, stuff coming from the animal injected into us. All of these toxins, chemicals, like in the vaccines, you've seen there's aluminum again. We don't need this stuff in our bodies to be healthy. All right. So, oh, look, polio virus, formaldehyde, neomycin, streptomycin. Serious adverse reactions, anaphylactic reaction, anaphylactic shock, hypersensitivity, convulsions, febrile convulsions, syncope, paresthesia, urticaria, lymphadenopathy, lymphadenopathy, something to do with the lymph node, I'm assuming, right? I could be, I don't know exactly what a lot of these are, like paresthesia. Let's see. Alexa, what is paresthesia?
According to Wikipedia, paresthesia is a sensation of the skin that may feel like numbness, tingling, pricking, chilling, or burning.
You can hear that numbness, burning, tingling.
Possible underlying causes
of the skin. Okay. But I'm looking at the serious things here, the convulsions, the seizures, the encephalitis. I know what those things are. All right. And you can see these are serious adverse reactions. MMR, horrible ingredients. Look at this. What is this? Anaphylaxis, Alexa, what's angioedema?
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
You said it wrong. Alexa, what's angioedema?
According to Mayo Clinic, hives is a skin reaction that causes itchy welts.
Okay, so if your kid ever breaks out in a very bad, we've seen that a lot.
Hives can be triggered by some foods, drugs, or other substances. Angioedema is related to hives.
Alexa, what's bronchospasm?
Bronchospasm is usually defined as spasmodic contraction of the muscular lining of the bronchi, as in asthma, causing difficulty in
Asthma.
breathing.
That's the medical term for asthma. So vaccines can cause asthma. Vaccines can cause eczema. Vaccines can cause allergies. Like so many things that you wouldn't even think of can be an adverse reaction to vaccines. And then we have to live with these things for the rest of our lives. Measles, the very thing it's supposed to prevent, it can actually cause. I mean, but the serious things here we're looking at are the seizures, the ammonia, the Guillain-Barré syndrome, Stevens-Johnson syndrome, nerve deafness, the neuritis, the encephalitis, which can lead to autism. It is inflammation of the brain, these neurological disorders and autoimmune disorders that it can lead to. You guys, this is serious, serious stuff. And again, less than 1% of vaccine injuries are ever reported because vaccine professionals or medical professionals like myself, because I did, like I said, have my degree for medical in the medical field, my associate's degree, did my internship at a pediatric clinic, and I was not taught about theirs. So how am I going to, if I'm not even taught vaccine injury is a thing? Of course not. They're not going to teach us that. Why would they? Right? I mean, come on, guys. Just look at these. Look at this stuff. All right. I think you've seen enough. I'm going to drop links in the comments so you can do your own research. If you have questions, ask. I'm also going to drop a link for a free PDF copy of my book, Dumbed Down, Drugged Up, and Disempowered, Awakening and Making the Shift into Quantum New 5-Year Paradigm, which it is a transformational guide to liberate humanity, you guys, because we've been dumbed down, drugged up, and disempowered. And if you want to free yourself, you have to open your mind, open your heart to the awareness that we've been lied to. Okay, we've been lied to about damn near everything. And you have to rewire those beliefs and you have to recode your DNA. You have to literally get within yourself to do the deep change work to make it reflect on the outside. These are quantum principles, neuroscience, stuff that I do in the work that I do. So that's also kind of another story for another day. Of course, I can't pack all that into this one short live, but if you're interested in more about that, let me know, because it is what I now do literally for my purpose work and help other people to wake up, shift their beliefs, take their power back, create a life they love, heal and transform on all levels, you guys. All right, so you see this myocarditis, facial palsy, loss of consciousness. Well, yeah, like, come on. Loss of consciousness, active ingredients. Are we almost to the bottom here? You see it, guys. Right, autoimmune, hemolytic anemia, idiopathic thrombocytopenic purpura. Encephalomyelitis. Alexa, what's acute disseminated encephalomyelitis?
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Alexa, what's acute disseminated encephalomyelitis?
From NIH.gov. Acute disseminated encephalomyelitis, ADEM, is an immune-mediated inflammatory disorder of the CNS characterized by a widespread demineralization that predominantly involves the white matter of the brain and spinal cord.
Okay, so it's messing with your brain and spinal cord. Motor neuron disease, paralysis, seizures, deep vein thrombosis. Definitely just not fever, headache, or soreness at the injection site. That's the whole point that I'm trying to make here. And I think I've proved that point. Oh, look, and there's the word prove. All right. So I think that's my cue. I'm going to drop all the info in there. I'm going to drop the link for a copy of my book for free. Check it out. What I'm saying is thank God. Thank God. Or whatever you choose to call God. That I woke up. All right. And that so many people are waking up. Again, they're not needed for school. They're not safe. They're not effective. They have no liability. Oh, I forgot this. Even though less than 1% has been reported in vaccine injury, because we're not taught about the vaccine adverse events reporting system, and less than 10% has been paid out in taxpayer dollars because they have no liability, they've still given out over $4 billion since 1986 in taxpayer dollars. So taxpayer dollars, we have been paying for vaccine injuries and death, and it's a very, very, very small percent of what's actually being reported and compensated. I cannot even imagine 4 billion times it would be tremendously larger. Okay. Like 99%, so it's like 1%. So Alexa, what's 4 billion times 99?
4 billion times 99 is 396 billion.
$396 billion. Say like $400 billion they would have given out already if they were really paying for this. They would be shut down if they were really paying for this. And they will be. They will be as soon as we continue to wake up. But it takes us to really wake up and step away from this system for them to lose power. All right. Remember that the power of the people is stronger than the people in power. We've been dumbed down, drugged up, and disempowered. So take your power back. I'm Andrea, super conscious creator and transformation accelerator. I help you do just that. I help you awaken, take your power back, find your soul purpose, and create a life you love. If you want to learn more, just comment below. I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that you got something out of it. If you did, if you know somebody who is having a baby who is refusing to look into this. I know a lot of people do message me, what would you send to this person? Like they're being bullied into vaccinating or they're refusing to look at information or whatever it is. You can send this to them, send them the links that I'm going to drop down below. If you have any questions, let me know. Chunk wants to say bye. Truth, love, and light. Have a namaste. Make shift happen. Let's grow. Bye-bye.